Morning to everybody and welcome to the panel Embracing the Challenge, being an independent musician in today's music industry. Buenos dias to everybody here in the room. My name is Patrick Domanico. I am an independent Italian journalist. I founded in 2005 one of the most important association in Italy that represent independent radio stations, and I'm also one of the radio presenters for NearFM that is part of IndieRE program. I'm very happy to introduce the guest of the day, so let's start with Esteve Lombarte, CEO and founder of Acqustic, an independent label founded in 2017, specialized in digital strategy. Welcome. Sergio Arribas, team leader for Spain in DICE, a ticketing software company based in London. And last but not least, Bruno de Zabala, founder and CEO of Motmo, a music platform where original artists teach how to play their best songs. Welcome, guys. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. So, guys, I would like to have this kind of conversation with you because the topic of the day is quite interesting, no? How to support independent music, independent artists. I would like to start with you, Bruno. What's behind... Esteve, sorry. Hello? Okay, sorry for... Esteve, I would like to start with you. What's behind the company you are running, you know, and how it can support the independent music, independent artists?
Well, we started... Does it work? Yeah. Great. So we started Acqustic in 2017 as a small gig company. We were organizing live music concerts in living rooms, gardens. And then since 2018, we started as a label. And we had one pretty thing clear, no? When you start your music career, in live music, before you go to big festivals like Primavera Sound or Sonar, you have first to go to small gigs. No? You have to play in pubs, restaurants, and then if you keep doing things right, you will arrive to be at the top festivals. For our label, we thought about the same. No? If you want to be in a big playlist, if you want to be in New Music Friday or in today's top hits, first you need to reach digital milestones. And you have to start working on small digital milestones that will help you grow until the top. And that's how we started Acqustic in 2017 and 18. And right now we are a music label based in Barcelona. And we had some great success. The most recent one is Iñigo Quintero, that reached the top 1 global in Spotify, but also we run artists like Motmo, Besmaya, which are from the indie sense that they are working pretty well. We started at the beginning with some songs from Guitarricadelafuente. So we are like really focused on not doing the traditional strategy, but more focused on how to build a digital strategy that helps an artist to grow from the scratch.
Amazing, thank you very much. So, Sergio, what about you and DICE?
Hello everyone. First of all, thank you Patrick for inviting
My
me,
pleasure.
and thank you EMA-RTV por tenernos aquí. Well, DICE is a London-based company that was founded in 2014. I wish I had the idea, but I hadn't because it's fantastic. The idea that the founders had back in the 14, as I said, in London was they were a group of managers and people that were already working at the music industry, and they came up with a question like how to prevent people to purchase ticket that has been resold illegally in other ticketing companies that are not very legal, and we all know the names of those. And so they created a system through an app in where you can only access to the QR code of the ticket that you have already purchased 2 hours before the show. Therefore, those companies that speculate with the tickets, their bots cannot access to the QR codes. They cannot buy tickets on bulk, and they cannot speculate with those tickets. So with a simple action, DICE deleted or didn't give the option to those ticketing companies that speculate with the tickets to purchase ticket in bulks, and that really worked. And we are now in a lot of countries like the United States, India, France, Germany, Italy, and Spain, and it's working really well. And on the other hand, DICE, and I will talk more about that, really does a lot of things in terms of trying to promote the alternative music scene, like trying to link the fans with the small venues, link the fans with the artists, also to promote with our app and our feature events artists that are on our radar, that are not very well known, but we think they have the potential. And that's why we are not working only with the big festivals like Primavera Sound or Sonar, for instance, here in Spain, but we are also working with so many medium festivals like MonkeyWeek that are very special, and they're like a pillar of the music scene. And we also work with small venues like Zabala in Donosti, or Sidecar in Barcelona, or Independence Club in Madrid. And that's the key of how we connect people with the small artists and venues, and the key of how we how we make people getting out even more.
Well, that is interesting. And when you said something about Italy, so we experienced like a problem with one of the huge ticketing booking system, you know, with the secondary ticket. That one is I think is a problem, no? Because there's some speculation and it affects the gigs in general. Anyway, the last presentation of Bruno, I think you have a very nice and funny idea. Can you tell us about Motmo?
Yes, the thing is that we've been managing rights, music rights. We've been publishers for more than 10 years, and we've also been musicians. So one of the main things that we wanted was when we want to learn a song, there are a lot of platforms in the internet that they are not legal, but they have some music sheets and music scores. But we really wanted to learn from the original artist, because that's the person that has created the original song. And we found out that there was no way to do that legally and in a way that was correct. So we made just a simple idea that it's putting the original artist in video and making some music scores that they are like interactive, so you can learn the way that depending on the skills that you have with the instrument. And for us was really important to make that easy for the artists and the music labels and the music publishers to have a revenue stream also, that it's part of their intellectual property. And as we've been for more than 10 years doing that, we knew exactly how the music publishers were not doing the original music scores. That is one of their obligations, and we know it because we were also publishers and we didn't do that. So we were one of the parts of the huge problem that has created for the fans on how to learn a music song. So we created Motmo in 2021, and here we are.
Just a question is a personal. Sorry about that, but. Can you describe the moment when you said, "Oh, wow, this idea can work"?
Yes.
So how did you get? That was night. That was you were sleeping. You were doing what we were doing. So
it was like almost like that, because during that time it was in 2020 in October, and I was with an entrepreneurship program in Berlin, and we were there for 2 months. But it was really a hard time with COVID, so we were 48 people there, and 42 out of them had COVID. So we were like isolated in a hostel. The German government, well, the military was coming to the hostel to make us the COVID test with their suits and with their guns and everything. We were like completely isolated. And as I'm a person of risk because I have a really strong asthma, they took me to another apartment. I was alone there for 3 weeks in a room that was like 1 square meter for 2 square meters. It was like the bed and myself. And I was there for 3 weeks and watching YouTube videos and I wanted to, I've been always looking for videos of the artists playing themselves. So I just thought the idea, we were publishers, so we were thinking on the way of how to solve it. And I was there. The problem is that when I had the eureka moment, I couldn't get out to the street because I was isolated, you know? So I spent like 2 more weeks inside that room.
Well, it's amazing because sometimes people have very bad memories after COVID, but in your case, very good. Something that it's in common for your 3 projects is like how to connect independent music with fanzine or, you know, and I think it's interesting. But this is something that I would like to ask. In order to support independent music, what you can do more, or what is missed, no, for the independent music, independent festival? Who want to start? You?
Yeah, I can start. I think that the main point that the digitalization offer us is the opportunity of connect more with artists, with venues, and link them to the people, to the fans, no? And from DICE, or one of the main things that we have done is connecting the fans to those shows through Spotify, Apple Music, and so on. When you register on DICE, your music profile that can be connected let us to understand what are the music that the fan is listening to. Therefore, we can offer a curated content for them. And it is really cool because when you download the app and you connect, you most of the time discover a lot of shows that are already there, but you didn't know beforehand. So that's a great opportunity to, as I said, link the fan with small venues and with small artists that are already fans of that artist or that venue, but weren't aware about the show, and on the other side, the venue and the artists weren't aware about the opportunities or the amount of fans that are on the other side. And I think that the point on how to support the alternative music from our side is creating environments that links or maybe make the connection even narrower than through digital platforms that it is nowadays. Like giving the option to artists to connect with fans directly, it can be even without a social network, which is the most common platform to connect with fans, like giving them more options, and also giving them the ownership of monetize the fan experience, offering those fans different things aside from the shows, because nowadays the show is the main thing, or the video is the main thing, but we are going into a direction where people want more. They are not only fans of the live show, they want even like a toy from the artist, or an LP, or maybe a poster, and giving the artist the ownership of connecting those fans more directly and offer more options of being even more fun, if possible. It's the path that we are following.
Esteve.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, every time it's more and more complex to the relationship with fans, because it's not just I do an album and I go and play the gig and that's all. You have to be creating content in social networks like Instagram and TikTok. Maybe you have to be on Twitch, depending on the kind of artist. And this makes everything more and more complex. From our point in Acqustic, I think we have lived a huge trend that it was the do-it-yourself. And I'm not that fan of do-it-yourself, no? Because we have been living an era for the last 10 years where there has been hundreds and thousands of music platforms focused on, I will give an artist a tool in order he or she can do it with himself and do the job. But at the end, it's too much. It's way too much, no? I mean, you cannot expect the artist to be creating music, to be super good at social networks, but also then to prepare a super mega show. And so when we started Acqustic, we started that idea that we want to create an independent platform, an independent label, but we want to help them on how to grow. So at the end, we are more focused on, as platform, to have a philosophy, a methodology on how to work on this new era, and to be able to understand all the platforms, no? And which are the tools that they can give and how to use them, and then try to help and coach the artist on that part. Because I mean, obviously I understand because everybody is so focused on the do-it-yourself, because obviously it's much more profitable, no? If do-it-yourself, I take a commission, great, no? I create a technical tool, I put it there, and I expect the artist to use this sampling platform, then to use this digital distributor, then to use this platform for the social networks, then to use that ticketing platform. Not like that, but you know, create your own concert, do it all. And I think that we need to have also other platforms like us that help on this to navigate all this world and to say, hey, we want to be there to see how we connect these two walls.
Yeah, I think you went for a very good point, and I also would like to say that another thing that Sergio was saying that was like a monetization. As you can see from my white hair, you can understand I'm not 20 years old, so I belong to another era where the artist was just an artist, you know, thinking about music and that's it. Now, what you're saying is also correct, no? This idea that do it yourself brought people to be like a digital marketer, being like the social media manager of themselves, and maybe they are distracted from the focus, so creating music. What do you think about that, Bruno?
Well, I also think that the main problem right now is also that what Esteve is also saying, that it looks like you have to sell your instruments so you can get a nice photo shoot, no? And publish it on Instagram, and you don't do music at all. And it's necessary that the artists go again to music, and then get the help from companies like Esteve are doing great jobs with all the digital artists, with the digital promotion and all the tools that they are offering to the artists, because as he says, it's too much work for just for the artist. So they have to focus on creating music and rely on good companies. That I think that right now there are many good companies in the indie scene that are really helping out the artists, so they can go back to the music apart.
I would say that from my side, it's like not just creating the music. I mean, because I think sometimes this is one of the mistakes, no? That obviously the artist wants to be just creating the music and that somebody do all the rest. But right now it doesn't work like this, because fans want to connect with the artist. So the artist right now has much more job than ever before. No? So what we have to do as labels, different platforms, is to try to help them, but also to teach them like, hey, this is also part of your job, to create content when you are at the recording studio to upload it on Instagram. Yeah, but I don't like social networks because I'm super alternative. Okay, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't create the new era. No, it's like we have to try to teach. Like, hey, things are going this way. We know that this kind of things work. If you want to do them, we're going to help you. And this is something that right now it's generating a lot of frustration, obviously, because when you go to the traditional model, it's much more fancy. I mean, they give you money, you create your songs, and then you go to some photo shoots, you go to Latin Grammys and all this, and then you expect everything to happen. But sometimes it doesn't work. I mean, sometimes it happens and you become a superstar, and sometimes nothing happens because there are a lot of music, no? And I think like platforms like the ones that we are here, or like what he was explaining with DICE, no? Not just to be a ticketing partner, no? Try to how to connect with the fans, with the Spotify, with how they like, the interest, and all this is the kind of things that may work. But obviously it's not easy, eh? I mean, it's getting more and more complicated.
Yeah, on top of that, I want to throw the question like, is it now, what's first now? Like being an influencer or being a musician? Because nowadays...
It's exactly what I think as well. So you have to be like an influencer or 50-50, you know, and I don't know. It depends. Me, for example, I can understand what you say, you know, and trying to educate artists in order to spend, I don't know, the 15% of their time focusing on social media in order to, you know, attract fans or doing something else. But at the same time, you know, maybe you can understand because you got like an eureka, you know, during COVID, you're thinking about something, you know. When you are in that artistic process, you don't have time for thinking about something else, no?
And also, yes, because for us, the main thing has always been music, and I think that it's changing a lot the way also what you say about like, are you influencer or are you a musician? And I think that also it's because it's been like a time where it was for the music labels the 100% of the profit. Now people has gone to the do-it-yourself and getting the 100%, and I think that we are on the way of finding which has to be the percentage to each one of the labels of the music publishers and the promotion companies and your booking agencies, until everything is on balance, no? Because now we've seen a lot of competence between different companies, and some companies are not even profitable. So you have a huge and really nice management team of 3 or 4 people for your booking agency, but the group that you're working with, they don't get enough money for you to be a sustainable company. So I think that we are like on the way to find how the music industry maybe should work, but that's a long journey, and I don't know.
From my side, I think also that first of all, it's music. I mean, this is a music business and a music industry, so the priority number 1 has to be to create great songs. But it's not enough just creating great songs. No, you need to do much more, and that's the key point. No, that sometimes you think if I do a great song, everything is going to come like this, and it's maybe not. And you have to create great songs more often. No.
Yeah, no, I can understand that, but thinking about, I don't know, 20 years ago, 20, 25, 30, you know, sorry about that, I'm too old, you know, maybe for this panel. But I remember 30 years ago, so even the volume of record sold was completely different, you know. Think about like, what's the name, the Gold Award, you know, when you reach, before that was like, I don't know, millions copies. Now it's like maybe 2,000, you know. And maybe the fact that there isn't enough money behind like the music industry, it's one of the reasons why maybe artists are forced of thinking about their digital strategy, doing it yourself just because of this, because they cannot afford maybe a profession. What do you think about that?
I completely agree. It is like very strange that on one hand, now the digital music is living their best time ever. I think, and people is listening to music more than ever. So that we have that on one hand, but on the other, it is true that it is now the time where the artists may make less money than ever. And we have something in between that has to be regulated somehow. And that's why people, or artists more accurately, are trying to diversificate their incomes, not only for the CDs or the albums that they sell, but also trying to create super cool merchandise, or making more even several meet and greets on every show, doing a lot of shows more than ever. So nowadays, like a band or an artist that was successful 10 years ago could easily live from the music rights or from the music rights or the CDs that the artist is selling through the stores. But nowadays, the income that you receive through the music is definitely not enough. That's why they are forced, as you say, to be creative and to monetize through other ways, and also to quote quote sell themselves also on social media and be more close to the fans. So fans are closer to them. There's a term now that is being used on social media that the platforms are competing, not for the money but for the time that the people is spending on a platform. Therefore, if every time I check in on Instagram, I see, for instance, Dua Lipa, I feel that Dua Lipa is like my neighborhood. And obviously it's not, but I will be like easily more open to spend more money on Dua Lipa than in any other artist. So artists are now trying to get that amount of impressions, that amount of time for the fans that they have.
From an artist point of view, no, how they can be more attractive? Who want to start?
Well, before going to that, there's also one good thing that now much more artists can live from music than before. Much more.
Yeah, correct.
Obviously, before, the ones that were able to live from music, they were super rich, and right now there are much more artists that maybe they are not going to get 1 million euros per year, but maybe they can get 2,000 euros per month.
But you are saying the money is always the same, but before
No,
there
it's
were
not
less
the same,
people,
there's
and
less
now
money.
it's spread by, no?
It's much more spread. So yeah, to be more attractive, at the end that's not new. I mean, artists, they are brands themselves. So a brand, it has a lot of connections, no? It's music, but it's also a style, it's a lifestyle, it's a way on how to connect with your audience. Mm-hmm. So as an artist, you have to try to work on who you are, no? And which is your niche or which your space. For instance, in Acqustic, we do Spanish pop, mm-hmm. but we have a lot of artists in the same scenario, but each of them, they have their individuality. No, I mean, they are not the same. They are different in some way, and people like them for specific reasons. No, but that's part of the things that are difficult. No, I mean, we have seen it before that some companies have been able to create artists like all the artists were looking the same. No, sound like the same, move like the same, no, like big choreos, the same kind of music for 3 minutes. The radio formula, no, that kind of things. And right now we are not on that kind of era where, okay, you have to try to become mainstream, but actually what you have to try to is to create an audience that keeps growing and to find your niche where people believes in you.
Yeah, it's true. You were talking, and then I got this. I don't know. Sorry if I sound. But let's play a game now, just for a moment. Sorry about that, guys. So, but can you imagine, for example, Jim Morrison in 2023?
He needs to have an Instagram for sure.
It's getting complicated.
Complicated. Vabbè. Okay, so. Quality is okay, but quantity is another aspect that artists, independent or alternative, it's something that have to face.
Quantity or quality, no? I think that, as Esteve mentioned, quantity is a fact that is more important than ever. As I mentioned before, the amount of times that artists appears on your feed, even though if it's a new single, a new poster, or even a new tour, it's competing with other artists, and it's also competing for the fans' time. So I think that it's very tough to balance the quantity and the quality, because it is true that an artist can be as profitable as they were back 10 years ago. 10 years ago they could spend, I don't know, like 1-2 years working on an album, and now if you're working on an album during 2 years and you're not doing anything else but being in the studio, the fans are like, okay, what happened to this artist? Is he or she dead, or is he publishing anything, or is the project over? So balancing that, I think it's one of the challenges that the artists nowadays have.
Yeah, and I think also that you have to work right now more than ever. But I think it's like not just in music, but in a lot of industries. No, I mean, I remember from my father, grandfather. No, you just need a music career. You just need to do a university degree, and you will get a great job with a great salary. And right now, you maybe take a university degree, you take 2 masters, and you are still a trainee. No, and you have to spend 5 years as trainee, just earning 500 euros until you get a real job where you get 1,000 euros, and then you have to keep working and working. For the music, for the good and the bad things, it's the same. I mean, you can have success, but you need to work much more. And obviously, the key question is, who can afford to spend, I don't know, 3 years or 4 years just working, and okay, right now I'm earning 300 euros per month because I'm doing 2 gigs and I'm getting 20 euros from Spotify.
So
that's the
they don't have time to get drunk now, like no. So Bruno, you were saying.
And I also wanted to focus on 2 things that, as we were talking also about what do artists need to do in order to succeed in the industry and everything. I can tell you that I don't know, because if I knew, I will already be rich and I will be in the Bahamas, not here. But I can tell what I think that they don't need. That it's like the number of monthly listeners in Spotify, because I think that that's killing the industry, because I can remember that 6-7 years ago that number was already there. So it's not something new, but I can remember when I was also I was playing as a professional musician, that nobody cared about it, but only between the artists we used to talk about that. We are having more than you and everything like that. But now that number has gone not only to the music industry and the bookers and everything, but to the general public. So when you are talking to someone and you tell them, hey, I've been listening to a really nice artist, that's a new artist, that they are from Nova Scotia, they're in Canada, look for them. They look in Spotify and they tell, it has 17,000 monthly listeners, so I'm not even going to listen to it. you know. And now about quantity or quality, now it looks like it doesn't matter the quality. You have first to get the numbers, and then people will listen to you. The bookers will hire you because now it's really happening that they tell this band it's a cult band, and maybe they are going to sell 1,500 tickets on 40 euros. But there's a band that has 40,000 monthly listeners, and they are only going to attract 200 people paying 10 euros because there has been one or two hits that they are in some playlists and in other places that is making them famous for some minutes, I think. And I think that it's really making the industry crazy because, for example, I came here with one of my co-workers, and we also just, when we talk about bands, we talk about the amount of monthly listeners they have. So I think that's what the music doesn't need, I think.
Yeah, cool. I was also thinking about, it's interesting what you said, you know. I've noted that songs now, the length of the song now is 2 minutes. So before that was 4, you know, something like that. And then maybe thinking about, I don't know, future or what's the actual reality, let's say, maybe with platforms such as Instagram or TikTok, when people use like for Reel or I don't know what's the name for TikTok, the 20-second, 50-second song for, you know, maybe that one is another important aspect that now artists have to think about that, no? When they create like their song. So they also have to consider the fact that a part of the song might be cool for, you know, some social media platform.
Well, I prefer like that artists get focus on create a great song. The fact that they will have to create several songs, not just 10, maybe they have to create a lot of songs because now there's more content. But then obviously once you have the song, you have to think about that. Maybe, this part is going to be super great for TikTok. No, and maybe this part works super well on Instagram. And there's a lot of people that thinks the other way, yeah? Like, hey, I'm going to do a song where I'm going to use just this kind of sentences and do it for TikTok. I think it's not genuine at all, and it doesn't work that well, no? Because at the end, we are in the era of content. So what you need is to create genuine content. And that genuine content is music and all the other parts.
Yeah, but on the other side, I am sure that big teams for big artists, like Shakira's teams, for instance, are measuring these kind of things. Like, okay, we need to do a chorus that is 16 seconds, which is the amount of seconds that an Instagram Reels have. So I think that for upcoming artists, it is very important, as Esteve said, to focus just in music or as much as possible. But when you're a top artist and you have a big team behind you, I am pretty sure that they try to measure everything so that music can be exportable to as many formats as possible. And one of the more important ones is obviously the social networks. So creating a 4x4 beat that really clicks on 16 seconds for everyone to share while they're I don't know, shooting their the vacation trip on Sevilla. It's a really good match.
Bruno, what do you think? 20 seconds as a part of the strategy in order to be more not famous, but in order to reach a great audience, is something cool or not?
I don't use TikTok or these kind of platforms. And also there's another part that we are focused on teaching how to play the song. So whatever they create, I think that's good enough. But that kind of content, it's also like some people also talk about, but they have a video with more than 8 million views. Yes, well, 8 million views for 20 seconds is like, they don't even remember sometimes about that, no? You remember it because you have your number there, and the number is more important also than the quality. Or it is, I think that it's really happening. So I will ban TikTok and everything, but I think I understand that that's one of the main ways to communicate your art right now. But I can say that I'm proud of not needing it right now.
But at the end, Bruno, you are in the in the same game. What I mean, people has no time to learn to play instruments like they should. So what you do is to look for the great artists in order that they teach people, because it's like, okay, I don't want to learn how to play the guitar or the piano properly, but I want to know how to play this song that has 100 million
In 3
views.
minutes. Yes, that's it. Yes, because that's what we do. Instead of going to a lot of websites to look for the music sheet, you go to Motmo and you will know that you will learn it this way. And also, for example, as I hate social media, we have hired someone that is really, really nice one on social media, and he has made some videos that went viral and everything, and I'm so proud of him. He tells me the results and everything, and I'm so happy about what he's doing for the company, but it will be for me, there was no social media.
Still on you, is still considered cool investing in non-digital activities?
Okay. For example, we've tried to, and we've thought some ideas of creating, like, for example, going with a trailer with some musicians playing over Madrid and everything, but we haven't executed that because some of these things also has gone so bureaucratic that anything that you want to do, it takes so much steps right now that it takes like a lot of time, and sometimes it makes it so difficult. I would love to be more in like in the 60s, that the people just went to the rooftop of some place and everything was fine. But now you do it, and in 2 seconds you have a helicopter of the FBI trying to shoot you. You know? So.
And what about things like, I don't know, open mics? Yeah, open mic. Do you know open mics? What open mics are? So open mics was like, can you explain, please, to Bruno? Thanks.
Explain.
No. Well, open mics for artists, for common
exactly,
artists. Yeah, I think, well, it might be something like, I feel like I'm supporting digital networks, but I'm not so fun, but it is true that it is useful. If, like a video can get viral if an artist is performing really well in an open mic and really connect with the people. As I said, it's a channel, no? But I think that on what you mentioned before, like non-digital ways to communicate, I think that the digital market is very saturated right now. So it is true that it's useful to use the digital marketing because it can be very granulated, very direct, and you can link what you are trying to sell to the people that is more likely to buy, and that's a fact. But on the other side, as it is, that person that is very likely to buy the product that you're selling is being impacted, like today, for instance, Black Friday is being impacted by thousands of products. So I think like being creative in other ways to communicate your product, being as an artist or as a company or as a ticketing company, with other ways that are not just the saturated digital market, is very useful. For instance, we as in DICE, we are now we have created a worldwide not digital only, a campaign where we are promoting our new logo and our new brand, and we are using Mupis in Spain also, which are the posters that are on the buses, and we are also when it was BIME, we were on the metro, and on London there are several those big posters like 10 meters by 3 meters that are placed around the street. We are also using those. So being creative in those ways, I think that is really useful too.
Do you want to say something from a digital strategy point of view?
I think that now more than ever you have to be creative, and I like that. I mean, because people get super obsessed, like digital, it's killing everything. It's so focused people on the format that they forget about, it's not the format, it's just the creativity. And then you have to understand how the digital format works and adapt it. But if you are creative, you can have great things.
Cool. I really like
Can
what
I say
you said.
something about that?
Say it again?
Also, because I also want to be like critic on the managing teams from the companies, and I think that many times we don't do this kind of that are non-digital things because it's now so difficult to measure the outcome that you get out from it. So I think that the managing teams also, we want reports from our from our marketing teams, and as this is something that is so difficult to measure, we sometimes forget about that. And also maybe we are talking about making movies, and the managing team is saying, okay, but how many people is going to see that or is going to be impacted? Okay, so put a QR there. I'm not going to scan any QR if I see anything, so that's not the way to measure, no? I think I wanted to be critical with myself also, and sometimes because non-digital marketing is, I think that it's really great, and now there's so few people doing that because everyone is doing digital marketing, so we can get a really nice outcome out of there. Sorry, I was...
No problem. It's fine because you said something important, the return of investment. So it's always in the mind of everybody. Yeah. Well, I think it's so everything is interesting so far, and especially because we can move on to another topic that I would like to explore with you today. No, what are the challenges for the next decade? Okay. I would like just mention an example. In I think a couple of years ago. ABBA, do you know everybody? ABBA here, audience in the room? ABBA, raise your hand if you know ABBA. Okay, very good people. So, a couple of years ago, so thank you very much. What's your name? I'm talking about you. No, her name. The last one that raised. You thought a bit about ABBA, you know. Okay, bene. So a couple of years ago, so they created the ABBA Voyage, or Voyage, I don't know what's the name. It's like a virtual concert. So actually, that was like Avatar. So on stage, there were like, I don't know, Avatar, so holograms of ABBA, you know? And that one was a great success, no? So what do you think about this? So you were talking about creativity, maybe you will be like a supporter of this idea. But what do you think about this kind of... No?
No, I mean, Sergio can help us more, but I don't think digital concerts to be something like a trend or something that it's going to really happen. I think these kind of things work because they are creative and they have that eureka moment and people want to see it and it's like, cool. But I don't know if people want to go for a tour of a digital ABBA during 3 years. No, you know, that actually the touring business is that, no? That you go, you do an album, then a tour, and then another one. But maybe, Sergio, you can help on that.
I'm a really big fan of NBA. And a couple of weeks ago, I saw on their platform that they are selling tickets where you put on your Oculus Rift glasses and you can be by the bench, like seeing the whole game, like in a quality that I have never seen before. And I found myself very interested in that. And I always have been very critical with the live streamings and Oculus Rift things, but finding myself very attracted to that because I cannot afford to go to the States every, I don't know, half a year to go to an NBA match. But if I had the opportunity of seeing those games like that, I will consider to buy those. And I was like reflecting about that, like what about the music industry? So I think it's not about only the tours, but again about the creativity. How do we offer the fans more options of being part of the process? And I was thinking like maybe if an artist is offering the fans the opportunity of being like with the Oculus Rift during their studio session, for instance, that connects people to the artist somehow in a very different way that we have never explored before. And I think that one of the challenges that the main challenge that the new decade will face will be for the artist more than the industry itself. Because, for instance, nowadays the artists are competing with IA. We all have seen like the new Bad Bunny song created by artificial intelligence, and it is true that the technology goes faster than the laws. And nowadays, I think the European market is creating a legal framework to protect somehow the artists. And but how that is gonna work? I mean, if Bad Bunny has 1,000 IA created songs every day, should Bad Bunny receive income for those songs generated by intention? Yeah, I think that too. But how do you monetize that? Because that is something created by a robot, and how also do you measure that? And I think those kind of challenges in where the technology goes far and beyond the people, the fans, the music industry, it's more about the artist than anybody else.
I think that on artificial intelligence, I think it's going to be a revolution like it was autotune. No, we don't know what's going to happen with that, but it's going to be in the next decade a tool that a lot of artists will use. We don't know, but people that it's now not 18 maybe will use artificial intelligence, autotune to create songs. And I think obviously one of the challenges is how to regulate that. No? Because at the end, if in order to create a song you say, I will like a voice like that, and like that, and like that, it's pretty clear who you have to pay. No? If you say, I want the voice of Bad Bunny and the voice of whatever, and the lyrics of something like that, and then it generates, you will have to pay. The good thing also about that is that I've seen, for instance, we are working with a company that it's called Believe. They have already created a tool in order to detect which songs are made by artificial intelligence and which ones not, with 98% accuracy. No, so obviously everybody it's a little.
How that works?
Well, they have a way to detect what it's done by. It's like when it was like with the works that were just copycat. No? At the beginning, there was a time where people was doing the homework with websites, and they were just using that website, and people was copycat, and they were detecting that, hey, 90% of this, it's copycat. So the tool, it works a little bit like this to detect that these songs are made by that artificial intelligence, no?
And do you think that 98% accuracy can
it's not enough.
No.
It's not enough yet, I guess, but
can be held in 10 years' time.
Can be what?
Held, or I mean, it can be that accurate in 10 years' time, because.
Well, I think the key point is how to detect it, and also how it's going to be monetized for the real artists, no? Because are the ones who have created that. It's like with samples. I mean, you can use a sample. If you pay the royalties, you know better, Bruno. You are from the publishing side. Nothing happens. And that's one of the key points on that, because right now it's a little bit like everything can be done. No? But maybe Bad Bunny, like we have seen, does not authorize to use his voice.
That's it.
Maybe you can use other things from Bad Bunny, but not the voice to create an artificial
But
song.
I think that it works so fast, and it learns so fast, all the machine learning algorithms and everything, that, for example, now they have a 98% of accuracy, but I think that it's going to be like with the Volkswagen, what happened with the emissions, like the car was giving some emissions, but if they knew that they were doing a test, it reduces the emissions. So it will do the same with it now detects how that song has been made by AI, but the AI will learn how that detects that it's been created with AI, and it will outcome that result, because everything, that part of technology, I think that it always goes farther than the...
Then there's another thing. I mean, one of the big companies of AI, who is?
BMAT. No, or
No, I mean the ones that are generating. Microsoft has a super AI team for the ChatGPT and all these kind of things. I mean, at the end, these kind of companies, they will have to pay. I mean, because they are using music rights. It's like when Facebook didn't want it to pay for the songs because they said no, or then Twitter, or then TikTok.
But it's
At the end,
like
everybody.
Netflix. It has taken like 15 years for Netflix to pay music rights, and also for Spotify it took like a lot of years, not only to give the phonographic rights, but also to be the music rights. So it's going to take a really
Hopefully
a while.
we're going to be faster right now. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Can I go for another aspect of the same, what we were saying? We're going towards like metaverse. Everybody know what metaverse is, this kind of universe that is not real, And for example, Apple recently presented like, I don't remember the name, but they are goggles that you can wear, and everywhere you can see things that they don't exist, because they are have been created by artificial intelligence, WFX, and so on. But can you imagine, like another game, a future where the human being that doesn't, we don't need that one anymore because we can create something via computer. Yes. So we can organize a gig in the metaverse. So what about your business, and your business?
Yeah.
In a scenario like this one,
And I think that also, as Sergio was saying, there are some things that will work, but mainly it's quite difficult for this to happen because, and also reducing that barrier from going to something live that is also like an experience to translate it to something digital is different. I think that maybe metaverse will not be the next step, but I think that it's going to take to augmented reality because, for example, it's now happening also in cycling that you can have some Googles that it's telling you instead of having your GPS here, it's like on your Googles, no? And I think that there are a lot of things that are going to go to augmented reality, but to a fully metaverse, I think at least I haven't tried almost anything. I tried Second Life like 15 years ago when I was a child, no? And it's like Second Life, but and also the avatars are exactly the same. It's like it hasn't gone like further. And going to see, and already U2 played a concert 15 years ago in Second Life, no? So and it hasn't happened nothing.
Yeah. From my side, at the end, everything is about creativity and connection. So what we are going to see is new kinds of social networks. And maybe it's going to be a kind of metaverse, and maybe it's going to be something different, but we have to be sure that there will be more social networks, and as an artist, we will have to adapt to that. No, I mean, who were expecting before COVID that TikTok was going to challenge Instagram? Nobody was expecting that. I mean, it was like something for the Asian people that they like to sing with Musical.ly, which was the other platform, and now TikTok, it's like everywhere. No, a lot of people is using it, and it's consuming, and it gets the attention of a lot. And we will see new kinds of TikTok. Maybe it's going to be a new platform with a new name, doing something in the metaverse and so. But at the end, the key part of this is the network effect and the connections. No, I mean, people want to be where they are, where their friends are. No, and this is going to keep evolving in different ways of format. And what we have to be is open-minded as an artist, as a musician, to adapt to that opportunities. I mean, there are going to be new opportunities, and obviously you will feel like, come on, I mean, I get adapted to Instagram, now I'm using TikTok, and people, it's moving from TikTok to metaverse, whatever, and I have to start again on the, yes, it's going to be like that, no? But...
Sergio, are you going to sell a ticket for metaverse?
Yes. Definitely. I think that we are thinking about metaverse. I don't think it will compete with the real live show, like in-person live shows, because it offers you like a way different experience. So it is not about that people has to decide between seeing a show on their sofa or going to a real show, because
you will have both.
Yeah, you can have both. But it is like the artist's mission to offer the things that the fan cannot enjoy while going to a real show. I mentioned before offering an experience through metaverse or whatever, like going to a studio or seeing a studio session with the artist, like being with the Google glasses and so on. But imagine this artist, Lewis Capaldi. I saw, I think it was in Glastonbury last year, that he suffered an attack of the sickness that he is having, and probably that artist is not able to perform world tours, even though he's like super famous. So, giving the fans the opportunity of seeing him in a virtual show, it's an experience that that will make it feasible, like attend to those shows, because otherwise it will not happen. Also, on the documentary that Zetangana released recently, after the tour he had, this is a little spoiler, sorry, he said like, I don't want to tour ever again. So maybe like offering those tours in a digital way, it's an option for artists that somehow they cannot offer in real life. A third example, imagine that you are a super fan of an artist that it's only touring in, I don't know, Asia, for instance, and they don't have the amount of monthly listeners or the amount of fans that will make them able to travel to Europe and having 10 shows and make it profitable. So if you're a super fan of that Asian band and they will never come to Europe, but you have the option of seeing them digitally, I think that is something that people will consider it at least. And nowadays that we are in a world that is very connected, that's an option that it's very real, because you can easily be super fan of an artist from South Africa that is really small, for instance.
And I think that works also because what you're saying is that if there's a story behind, it will work. Because if Lewis Capaldi is not going to be able to make live shows, people is going to go to the virtual shows. But for example, I think that is some way that it will really work, for example. But I also think that if you take that to metaverse, it's not going maybe to work that way, because what we tried, all the companies we're working with technology, what we are trying to do is to remove steps that were not necessary. And now, for example, metaverse puts steps that are not necessary. If I want to go to a show with my Oculus glasses, why do I have to log into some place where I have to walk to the show and watch the show instead of just going to Twitch and watch the live streaming, no? And I think that metaverse is putting steps that are not necessary right now. But and I think that maybe what was I saying, it won't go to that way of metaverse, but to doing this kind of activities, but easy ones. It has to be Luis Capaldi show, join, and you will just join the concert.
Well, and then I think you are on the press, so you will know better also, that press is always looking for the next Black Mirror thing. No, I mean, because it's like super cool to say like, everybody is going to live in the metaverse, no? And then you use it, you have a great article on that.
That one is not press, it's propaganda, it's different.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then on the other side, we have a lot of big companies with big pockets that actually where they are looking at what it's going to be the next big money. No? And they are speculating to see, we want to be on that next big money thing. No? But I'm sorry for the audience, we don't know exactly what is going to happen. No, but we can adapt.
Nobody knows. I have a last kind of question, because unfortunately our time is almost at the end. I've collected some keywords during our lovely chat, at least for me. Is the same for you guys?
Yes.
The same for you?
Thank you.
Very good. Allora, the first one is monetization, adaptivity, diversify, regulation, and artificial intelligence. Is some other keywords that you want to leave like as a final recap of our panel today. So, Esteve, you want to start here?
Yeah, I will add creativity.
Creativity?
I will add also that you have to work a lot.
Work a lot, okay, but it's not a keyword, it's a key phrase. Work a lot.
Work.
Work. Okay. What about you, Sergio?
I think that you made a really good job.
A very good job. Thank you very much. Any question from the audience? Don't be shy. Don't be shy, guys. I have one question.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, this is working. First of all, thank you very much. Well, you're part of the change in this music industry scene that it's pretty like weird and different, but it's magic. It's part of the magic. You have like an opportunity area in each of your business models that you need, that we have to achieve. Like, I don't know, as an artist, as a label, I have to improve my artists with different types of, I don't know, well, basically my company has Dolby Atmos. So maybe we can do that step. Or as a ticketing company, what can I do to improve my user experience? And as a company of publishing things, how can we achieve those opportunity areas as music industry workers that we're starting, or we are consolidated? It's not even a problem because we're at the same starting point. This is improving pretty fast and it's getting interesting. So that's my question, improving areas of each of your business models.
Can I go?
Of course, yeah.
Thank you for the question. Very interesting. One of the key things that my company is doing is curating artists. Nowadays, and luckily, DICE is going global, and we are working in many countries, and each country is focusing on the top upcoming artists that we think that could be the future of the music in that territory. For instance, in Spain, we are having a DICE stage at the Sonar Festival. And in that festival, we promote, or we book artists that are all of them are upcoming, and all of them, well, not all of them, but most of them, they are Spanish, but definitely all of them upcoming. Like we have booked, for instance, Rojo, Dalila from Sevilla, Sticky EMA, La Chica Carandá, La Flaca, all of them upcoming, as I said. And we also booked people from Japan, like Toji, or people from the States, 700 Bliss. And so we are trying to make people understand through our actions that are far beyond being just a ticketing company, that we are there for the artist, and we are there to connect the fans to the future of the music. We want to be trendy in as many ways as possible. And on the other side, we are trying to, on the same way, we're trying to connect the artists even more with the fans, and not only through the ticketing, but through other tools that can make the fans' experience even more enjoyable. Like providing the artists the freedom of selling more things, or connecting with more tools with the fans than ever before. And this is something that it's on our roadmap, and I am very proud of that, because it's it is a key difference between our competitors. And honestly, I enjoy a lot doing that, like being part of a stage at Sonar, for instance, or at here at DICE Monkey Pro, you know?
For us, it's like we are really focused on our next step, because as we started with the company, we have to go to meet with the artists, record the artists, and make the music sheet, the music score, to be on the platform. So it was way hard to make it to the rest of the world. So what we are doing right now is a computer vision algorithm that makes that any artist can record themselves just in video with their mobile phones, and the music sheet is created automatically, because until now, when they've been trying to make music sheets automatically, they only had the music, the sound of the song. So they just get an 85% of accuracy, and that's not enough to play a song. So now we are putting the next layer, that is the video and the original artist, so we can achieve like hopefully a 100%. So that's the way that we can make Motmo feasible for any artist anywhere in the world. So you can be in Philippines and just upload your music, and the music sheet is created automatically. So this way, with AI and with monetization, we will try to change the music industry.
Great. From our side, we are, as company, really focused on creativity, how to detect young talent, and then also on how to help to viralize that talent. No, we are really obsessed somehow on how it works, the digital formats, and how to make them work for new artists. But actually, for us, or at least for me, the most important challenge is like how to create a philosophy and methodology of doing new things in music industry. No, and actually, that's what we really as Acqustic are focused on. Hey, we want to have a new way of doing things. I'm going to use an example. I'm from Barcelona, and Barça, no, they have, since the very beginning, pretty clear the Masia, how to work, the tiki-taka. No, and Barça, for years and years, it's doing the same, and it's trying to improve that kind of game and that kind of approaching the football industry. So from my side, in the music, we are on that part. No, the challenge, actually, it's not just to be a music company, but also on how to create a philosophy, a methodology on how to work on this new environment that it's super challenging.
Any other question from the audience, guys? Tic-tac. It's for free, huh? So. Are you sure? No more question? Okay, so please, I would try to say thank you once again to Esteve Lombarte, CEO and founder of Acqustic, independent label founded in 2017.
Thank you, Patrick.
My pleasure. Thanks to Sergio Arribas, team leader for Spain in DICE, ticketing software company based in London. And Bruno, the Zabala, founder and CEO of Motmo, the music platform where original artists teach how to play their best songs.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
So thank you very much, guys. Have a lovely one, and I'll see you next time.